Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Cast Carbon, and if that name doesn't make sense to you, please feel free to watch the previously posted video, but TLDR, I just felt like changing my name. I wanted my own original name, so that way I'm not just, hey, look, he's that Halo guy, you know? I wanted to be my own self. Partially due to the fact that I do plan to make other projects besides Halo. But today we're on Halo, and this is part 10 of the Metal Master Chief armor build. Today in part 10, we are tackling the bracers and the hand plates, or hand backers as I call them. All that having been said, let us get into the video.
After I had showed you guys this model in the previous video, I got to looking at it and I put it on my arm again, and this one's not gonna work. So after about 10 minutes of looking at it and just kind of seeing what I had done, we're gonna set this one aside, and I made a new model for the forearm, and I went ahead and as a bonus also went and printed the hand backer plate, the piece on the glove. And this one, I printed it at a larger scale. One of the reasons that I did that was because the opening here for the wrist on the first model was just too small. Now, this one, as it is right now, if I put it on my arm, it's the opening for the wrist is fine. It's good. There's not really a problem there. But on the other end, there's a lot of space. So when I build the pair of these out of metal, it's gonna be, I'm gonna tweak it so that way this opening will be probably just a little bit smaller, so it's not such a gaping hole on at the elbow. So the breakdown I'm thinking of is that we'll have this main panel that will be at the outside of the forearm, closer to the wrist. Then we'll have this big curved section that goes behind it. And then on the inside of the forearm, we'll have this whole curved section, then the sort of the middle curved section, and then I guess the upper or lower curved section, I guess, depends on which way you want to look at this. And lastly, the elbow on the elbow side. What I'm gonna do next is off camera, I'm gonna break this thing down into flat pack, and then I will be at the shop in the next clip. So somewhat unrelated but still very exciting is the fact that recently I got a truck. It's exciting to me because I've never had like a new vehicle, and this thing's it's used, but it's a 2024. It's practically new, bro. So that's just personally exciting. Good times, good stuff. So I've got the patterns for the forearm, the bracer, and the hand backer all sort of broken down even further than what you guys saw before. I did keep the original bracer piece as a reference. Even though this is sized wrong, I can still rely on looking at this and saying, okay, this part goes here, that part goes there. So that's gonna help me. Obviously I changed this a little bit, and I'm gonna do some things different from what I drew on here. On the hand plate though, this will be different because I've got the center point here. I can easily use a punch and then just use a big drill bit and just bore straight through. Enough lollygagging, I have to set up the tripod and get to cutting parts. So here we go.
just to real quick address the hand backers, because it's kind of, it may not make sense in the actual video, especially if I time lapse it. I want to explain real quick. So the way I did the hand backer off of the paper model I broke it down into the main square and then sort of 4 modified panels that go around the edges. And the way those panels are, like here, this is, you know, this is the way this is. So this larger piece is at the front of the hand. I want to have this, where I did the cuts, I want to have that bend inward, and then I want to fill this with weld to hold it all together. So on this one over here, you can see on the side panel, that's what I did. I've got these little triangle-y pieces, and I bent them inwards, and then I filled it with weld. It looks ugly right now, admittedly very ugly, but my thought is, basically after I get it all done, I'm going to use the angle grinder and essentially sculpt this down. So like this big bubble right here, when we look at this big old ugly bubble right here, right, this bubble of weld, I'm gonna sculpt and carve that away with the grinder. And the same in here, I'm gonna take the grinder and smooth all this out, so that way, instead of being this weird ugly bumpy thing, it's gonna have it's gonna just be a smooth plane, and this should look a lot better once I'm done with it. Hopefully that makes sense, but I just wanted to clarify what I'm doing, so hopefully it's clear. This is what I'm talking about. So you can see here, I've flattened out the top face of it, the sort of the outer face, and then one of the side faces. So it looks a lot prettier. But then right here, I took the grinder and I've sort of sculpted that out. So the lumpies are gone, and now it's more of a flatter plane, and it looks more like what it's supposed to look like. So this is promising. I think we can make the hand plates look a little bit better. So I'm gonna keep plugging away with the grinder off camera, because watching me use the angle grinder, I assume, is really boring. Because when I edit it and I have to watch grinder footage, I find it boring. So I'll see you guys here in a minute. After the grind, the hand backers, or hand plates, however you want to call them, I call them hand backers, but they are looking pretty good. They're real shiny, so it might be hard to tell the details, but I mean, compared to what it was earlier, this looks a lot sharper. You can see the indents much better. There is a lot of pitting on here, so I'll have to Bondo that later, but I'm pretty satisfied with this. So I'm gonna call the hand backers done, and yeah, we'll move on to now the rest of the forearm. I've got sort of that detail piece with the angled piece with the cutouts, and then I have the sort of back portion. This has this goes near the elbow, and it has these detailed cuts that match up with the angled piece. And as I've got them welded and tacked right now, we can see they don't really match up. So what I'm thinking I'm gonna have to do is this back half, I need to like expand it, open it up a little bit, and the angled piece here, I'm gonna have to like moosh it to make it skinnier, just so I can get them to match. Because this tab right here basically sits right on top of this plate right here. So they're gonna match like this, but you can see like those are not matching up at all. So I'm gonna have to do some finagling. Luckily I've got the anvil, the hammer, and plenty of other stuff I can use. But so far, despite the fact that these angles, this part is really narrow and this part is really wide, I think this will be doable. I'm gonna have to muscle it into position, but stand by. at this point, let's grab this other part. I've got 2 halves for the forearms. I've got the inside and the outside, and they're not matching up super well. They're kind of jank. I'm gonna have to do a lot of manual persuasion with the hammer to get these to line up. As you can see right here, if I try to line these up, they're not lining up here. These seams aren't lining up on this side and around the back. But what good we're looking at is that this fit, if I put the right side inner arm on here, kind of hold it against my body real quick, I can take this, the outside part, and we can kind of eyeball how that's all gonna fit when I do get it figured out, even though it's not really, doesn't look great on camera because you can't really see it so good. The point I'm trying to make is that despite things kind of being jank right now, this is promising, because the 2 halves, they're gappy and stuff like that, but there's still enough room. I'm getting this thing on. I'm kind of locked in at the wrist at the moment, but if I finagle this, it's janky, but I will be able to get my hand in and out of this thing as it is. I know this doesn't look super awesome on camera. Let's try that again. So if I hold this like that, so I have a nice big old opening, I can snake my hand through, which is good because if that opening wasn't big enough for me to, just put my whole hand through, that means I would have to build this thing in a way where it would clamshell open and shut, and that would be better in the long run, but I don't want to deal with having more moving parts than I need. I'd rather just this be a solid part if I can help it. So we're gonna try to make this thing work as it is. So I think if I just do a little bit more manual persuasion on these parts, get things bent and tacked into place, I should be able to make this work. I'm making good progress. Or I'm making okay progress. So here's what I'm looking at right now. The inside arm pieces are pretty much, I welded them all together fully. So left and right inner arms, we're looking at a lot of full welds. This means that when I take the inside and outsides and I try to match them, this is gonna be harder to force into shape, but I wanted it to be more solid so I can really wail on this thing, because the outside pieces, the outside arms, I'm pretty satisfied with where these are shape-wise, and I still have to put something into here to fill the gaps, and I still have to full weld around like the elbow plate. As far as I'm concerned, the outside of the forearm on the Mark 6 armor is the more important visually. This is the detailed part, and I want it to look right. So since I have all the pieces, since I have this and this all tacked together and looking pretty, I want to make sure I really go through and get everything welded and shaped right. Same with specifically like the filler and all that stuff. So since I want this to look pretty, I'm gonna leave it kind of as is shape-wise. And the inside of the forearm, since it's kind of the less detailed part, I wanted it fully welded so I can really take the hammer to it and beat it into shape. Off camera, I'm gonna get these parts ready, so then we'll start trying to marry the two halves together. But since it's mostly grinding, I'm not gonna bore you guys with that. Using the hammer and the anvil over here, like, I really felt like I was cooking. But if you, I just got into a rhythm of like, oh, this is making sense. I'm moving the metal where I need it to go. This is awesome. But if you're like someone who has a lot of experience with using an anvil, or if you're an actual blacksmith and you see this, I will gladly take pointers. But, you know, I'm just making this up as I go right now. So, you know, be gentle. I've got the inner halves already ground down pretty well. There's still a few ugly spots on here, but that's gonna end up having to get fixed with Bondo later anyway, so I'm not worried about that too much. So on the outer forearm, right, I've already plugged up the rectangle holes, and that wasn't too hard to make a piece for that. But for this guy in here, what I had to do was make a little pattern. I've got my part. I had a piece of cardboard, and I took the cardboard and you know how with corrugated cardboard you can get it to bend along those lines. So I got the whole piece of cardboard bent up, stuck it on the inside here, and then with a pen, I traced out the shape of these holes, and then I went back and I just cut oversized, bigger than the actual pen marks. I traced my cardboard piece onto my metal, and I cut these little guys out. So I have these little, these sort of angled pieces that I'm gonna just bend on the probably by hand actually, but you know, combination of the vise and the anvil. I'm gonna bend these guys, and I'm gonna weld them onto the inside here to fill the holes. When I come back, these guys will be ready to go, and we'll look at sizing them up. I'm having a morning full of dumb because I'm dumb and I forgot. Okay, so today I am a daggum fool, and I left the tripod at home, so recording is going to be difficult. My recording setup was not great. I used this thing, had these little nuggets in there, just kind of like tilting this thing up. That kind of sort of worked. I found a scuffed tripod. I don't have a good way to mount the phone to it, so I'm just gonna kind of since I have no good recording setup, I have decided that I need both of my brain cells to figure out this, and recording is secondary. I'm sorry because that makes for a poopy video, but I'd rather make sure that this product right here is fantastic and wonderful and awesome. So I'll just keep reporting in with what I've done. So right now it's back in two pieces, and I am going to just beat the snot out of it and just shape it. So I will be back momentarily. Okay, now I've got it tacked right here on this side, and it is still warm. So it's on, it fits kind of. It's really at the wrist, it's fairly tight, I hope I can get my hand out now that I think about it. Back here, this is really open wide, and you can see it's not quite matching here at the back. So I still have a lot of hammering to do, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld this seam a little more, put a few more tacks to make this strong. Same on the other side of the arm, try to get that more hammered into position and then tack it good. And then I ought to be able to move on from the left to working over here on the right arm. And we should be able to finish this part up soon. Hopefully, maybe, possibly. This video has taken me way too long and I don't care for that. So we're gonna hurry up and we're gonna try and make some magic happen. Okay, good news. I was able to get that off real easy because all I did was take my glove off and I could slide my hand through that hole. So that is excellent news. I was actually really concerned about that because I forced my hand through while wearing my my glove. But anyway, I got this off. So now y'all can really see, like, we're a little scuffed here in the back end at the elbow. I have to fill that gap in too. I'm gonna have to just find a little chunklet and kind of tack that in there. But, or I might leave it open, who knows. But I have to really get convincing that thing with the hammer. I'm probably gonna try to take this corner and bring it down as much as I can, and this corner down as much as I can, and then this whole side in here. So, I don't really know the proper hammering technique to do it, but I'm gonna try and like get it so this edge curves inward and sort of rounds it in. Okay. So, all right, I've got now the bottom end tacked better, and that tack right in there broke, so I had to redo that. But this is a little more sturdy, so I was able to take it, put it on the anvil, and beat it more into shape. So now things are matching up better. The top end, I still got to deal with you. So I want to try and get this whole portion bent in rather than messing with this, because, you know, this is the outside of the arm. I want this is the more detailed thing. I want this to look more pristine and not be all jank, whereas this is more plain, and I can fudge this. That's the way I see it. Like I can florp this a little bit and it'll still work, right? So we're gonna try and beat this into submission. But what I found is the way the anvil's made, right? If I remember my terms right, this curvy bit is called the horn, right? And so the top, we've got, I would describe that as a more sharp curve, and we have more of a flat line on top. But since we have this big roundy bit on the bottom, what I ended up doing was taking this guy in order to get the elbow pad and some of that more lined up, I took this guy and chucked it on here like this. And then while I was holding this thing on here, and then I take the hammer from below and just beat from here. The problem is that this anvil, while a decent anvil, let's see, I can't find the weight on this guy. How heavy are you? I don't know. Well, whatever. So this anvil is a little smaller, though it's heavy. I still had to move it over here. I had to come out here and use our bigger anvil, which is heavier, and I am lazy, and it's hot, and I didn't feel like moving this guy. But I don't know if you guys can see it super good, but it's 112 pounds, and I did not want to move this guy. So I came out here and used this anvil. But this was really good because I could get this good curved bottom part of the horn and, you know, get in here and wail on that piece and get the shaping looking better. This thing is still, this bracer is still, you know, really, really big. But I think once this matches up with the upper arm piece, I think things will be fine. We'll just have to see when I get there. But for right now, I think I'm making some good shaping progress. Give me another, like, whatever, 5 minutes, and I'll have another short clip where I'm yapping. So stand by, ladies and gentlemen. All right, hear me out. I have a really, really dumb idea. So, what I'm gonna do, I've got this a little more shaped, but I also have a ratchet strap. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wrap this ratchet strap around the thingy, and I'm gonna see if I can like squoosh this in so the seams will go together, and then I can tack it, and then take the ratchet strap off and full weld it, and then by God we'll have a full left bracer, and everything will be happy and exciting and wonderful and awesome. And then I can, you know, do all of it all over again for the right arm. Let me get the ratchet strap on here and I'll show you. Okay, this is certainly one of the dumbest things I have done as a welder, but you know what? Desperate measures and all that kind of good stuff. So I'm gonna, okay. We're gonna see if we can make this work. I'm gonna use this to put the thing. Yeah, okay. No, stay tight, thing. Well, okay, it's kind of pulling the parts together. Give me my finger. It doesn't do what I wanted to do. Okay. Oh, now I can't get the ratchet strap off, bro. Okay, all right. That idea sucked. That idea didn't do me any good, and I still have a big old gappage in here. That idea was terrible, and this camera setup is terrible, and I feel bad about it. Okay, new plan. Bro, where there's a will, there's a way. Well, so, okay, right. So the way I did it earlier, I had the ratchet strap just wrapped 3 times, and I was just fighting it. No, that didn't work. But I put the 246 blocks on either side of this thing, and I had the hammer here ready to, you know, tap stuff into position to get it to work. And brother, look at it. Oh, it fits. And this is perfect too. Look at that corner. Oh, it is right where I want that corner to be. So I'm gonna tack it, boom, 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 and then I'm gonna go and start full welding and shaping this thing perfectly. Oh, bro, like I can't even begin to tell you how exciting that was to get that to work. Good Lord, that was so dumb. And then, yeah, like I can get the shaping going better in here once I have this as a more solid thing. Like the way I see it, once I get this thing like solid, then I can really manipulate the metal and beat it into the rounded, nice, pretty shape that I want it. But holy crap, bro. I can't believe well, I can believe it. I thought it would work anyway. But just the fact that my stupid ratchet strap idea worked, I'm very happy. All right, I'm gonna tack this thing off camera, and then I'll show you the next thing when I get to the next thing. Yeah, buddy. So I've got it welded all along here, and on the inside in here, and we flip it over. I've got, what do I got? I got all along here on the inside, all along in here on the inside. This was a bit jank, and I should have took the hammer to this so there wasn't so much gappage, but whatever. I'm probably gonna tidy this up here in a bit with like the grinder or whatever. But that is a bracer, dude. That is one full bracer, one full forearm. There is the gap right here, and I've decided to leave it because I can. So that's just gonna be a hole that's there. The elbow hole's a bit flumpy, but honestly, I'm okay with it. I'll try to do maybe a little more shaping to get it so it's like we don't have this peak so much. I'll try to get it more of a smooth, rounded deal, but like so yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. Overall, I'm happy with it. And with that, now we have the entirety of both arms ready to go. I am pretty happy with how this has turned out. It does look really cool. And right now, being in all raw metal, this thing looks really rad, man. Now I can already tell there's going to need to be some work done for mobility. The bicep and the bracer, they interact with each other in a bad way. But they still look really awesome, dude. As far as rigging and trimming and getting things to work, that'll be in a later video. But for right now, I'm just happy to say that we have the entirety of both arms ready to go. Handbackers, bracers, and upper arms. So this is some darn good progress, even though it did take me quite a while to get here. I do hope you folks at home can be a little bit patient with me, and I am trying to bring you guys some cool videos, or at least show off my work. No matter what though, if you sat through this video, I appreciate you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. If you like what I do here, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. My name is Cast Carbon, and I will see you in the next video.